There's nothing special about you.
Really don't put food on the table.
Just a pretty face. Architecture.
It will fail.
You're too emotional for this industry.
Female architects regenerate the urban landscape.
Dolls like that. That's a stupid idea.
You're so beautiful. You look just like me.
There's no money in art. You'll never make anything of yourself.
Get a real
Tonight's
job.
news, a Wayne Barker original just sold for $300,000.
You're not talented enough. You'll never get far.
You're not as good as them. Who do you think you are?
Small town boy on the big stage. Lukanyan Dingy opens for Paris Fashion Week.
Standard Bank, it can be.
I'm going to try that again. Dumelang? When you go to a particular province, you speak the language, and the reception is usually really, really great. Ladies and gentlemen, top women and top men, a very warm welcome to the Standard Bank Top Women Empower Her Regional Conference in Sun City in the Northwest Province, proudly brought to you by Topco Media in partnership with Standard Bank. My name is Vuyolwe Tutubese, and today I have the absolute pleasure to be a Master of Ceremonies and moderator for today, as we have the incredible opportunity to celebrate, to platform, as well as to enable female entrepreneurs across South Africa to give them the opportunity to engage with the capital, with the network, as well as the resources that will hopefully enable you to be able to scale your businesses as well as the stakeholders in your communities as well. I would like to officially resume the program by observing all protocol and welcoming many of you in leadership within the roles that you serve. Now, it would be amiss of me to not mention and wish each and every woman in this room today, and of course those of you who are joining us via live streaming on our various platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as Twitter, a very happy Women's Month. Hala, hala, top women, hala, hala. Now, over the past few months, on the Empower Her conference stages across the country, we have had the incredible opportunity to witness women who have risen above the noise and, of course, have proven that certainly #it can be. In Cape Town, we had women who were exchanging their skill set, and to this day have been applying for grants together, looking for an opportunity to expand their impact as well as to expand their businesses. In Durban, we had one of the founders who is behind a Women in Business Association, adding to a database almost 100 women to ensure that those deep and meaningful connections are nurtured, and of course that Top Women Network continues to thrive in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, I say this to mention that all of these women weren't women who had actually pitched on stages. And hopefully this will also be an opportunity for you to introspect the opportunity cost of you being here for the next few hours with us and spending a whole day and ensuring that you come out with something, because I'd like to believe that you are top women and top men who are absolutely serious about their business. We also have an entire segment for today, for an entire hour, called the Fast Track Networking Session, which will be dedicated to fostering and nurturing those deep and meaningful connections. Now, at the heart of the Standard Bank Empower Her conferences is the pitching den. The pitching den is the pipeline and the opportunity for 3 female entrepreneurs across South Africa to have the opportunity to walk away with not only the trophy, but also the title of the Standard Bank Top Women Empower Her Award winner for 2023, and that 50,000 Rand cash prize that they will have the opportunity to walk away with at the 20th Annual Standard Bank Top Women Awards, which is taking place on the 7th of November in Johannesburg. In Cape Town, we saw Denise Stubbs, who is the Managing Director of Thokozani Wines and Hospitality, take home the coveted title of the regional winner for Cape Town. In Durban, founder and director of Teki Watch South Africa, Dokozo Ntleko, represented as the regional winner for KwaZulu-Natal. And today, we are in Sun City in the Northwest to crown the Northwest Regional winner, who will be pitching with 11 other finalists in front of an expert panel of judges, and of course, be in the running to taking home that title of the Empower Her Award winner for 2023. Now, I did mention that we have these 11 finalists and they will be pitching in front of an expert panel of judges. And for the next few moments, I'd like you to join me as we honor, as we celebrate and acknowledge these 11 finalists, because pitching on stage is something that is not easy. It takes an immense amount of coaching, of time, and also there's a cocktail of emotions that I'm sure our finalists are going through. So when I mention your name, I'm going to ask that you kindly stand up so that, again, we can just take the opportunity to acknowledge and to celebrate you with your fellow finalists. Top women and men, our finalists for the Standard Bank Regional Empower Her Conference for the Northwest is Ntombi Zaucha from Treasure Production, Rufuno Ra Sweswe from Tosh Detergents, Judith Ndaba from Elevate Life, Dr. Precious Mabuza from FS Mining Wash Plant, Kule Gobodo from Brainbrow Conscious Creatives, Bunolo Mashilo from B Mashilo Designs, Boydumelo Tswane from On Point Healthcare, Michelle Ruiz from IQ Pay, Nivashni Rampasad from Smarty, Matepo Mulotsi from Kibua Skin Organic Skincare, and Sarisha Bharat from Loyaled Up. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your Empower Her finalists for the Northwest. The very best of luck to you ladies, and we certainly cannot wait to hear those pitches. Now, we also invite you to engage in the selfie mirror that does have a couple of props that will be stationed in the booth. I have been asked that you please, once you have done putting on the glasses and taking your pictures, please do leave the sunglasses in the booth. We also invite you to capture the conversations, capture those outfits of the days as well, because you're all looking so beautiful in your various colors that will be engaging today. And you can do this on our Facebook and LinkedIn, where you can tag Standard Bank Top Women. On Instagram, the official handle to tag is @SB Top Women Leaders, and tweet us with the handle @SB Top Women. And remember to accompany our hashtags for today. There are quite a few, including hashtag SB Top Women, hashtag SB Empower Her, hashtag SB Top Women, hashtag rise above the noise, hashtag Topco Media, hashtag Standard Bank, and hashtag it can be. And to sweeten the deal, we are giving away 2 tickets to 2 lucky winners today, each valued at 7,500 to the Standard Bank Top Women Conference that is taking place in Johannesburg on the 18th to the 19th of October. Throughout the day, we also encourage you to engage the Standard Bank activation booth in the foyer, as well as the quiz that will be accompanying it. This showcases the bank's digital platform features and the endless possibilities via the digital banking with Standard Bank. There will be a lucky draw with the winner walking away with an iPhone 14. So all the very best, ladies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed with the program for today, if you have lost your phone and have got an adorable baby as your wallpaper, please just come and see me once I've stepped off the stage. Someone has been calling. There have been a couple of missed calls, so I think you recognize, even now, there's a call that's taking place. So please do come and collect your phone. To proceed with the program for today, without any further ado, for the organizers' welcome, please welcome onto the Standard Bank Top Women Regional Empower Her Conference stage from Topco Media, Head of Programming, or rather Head of Conferencing, Clay Garrett, Head of Brand, Judy Twambo Chilese, and Marketing Executive, Alexandra Kuchube.
Good morning, Top Women. And Top Women. Welcome. I must say that every region that we've been to now, we have more male participation, which is really awesome to see. My name is Claire Garrett. I'm the Head of Conferencing for Topco Media.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to our third and final leg of our Standard Bank Top Women Empower Her. Very glad to be back at Sun City, and we look forward to networking with you today.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra Kochube. This is my first time in Sun City, so I'm very excited to be here with all of you as this, it being my experience here. Social media, please tweet, Instagram, we will reshare and retweet everything. We love playing with you guys on social media, so please share everything and enjoy the day.
So firstly, we'd just like to say, of course, a massive thank you to our partners at Standard Bank. I would like everyone to raise and just give them a massive round of applause, because without their support, this would not be possible. Okay. Am I working? Yes. Okay, and also a very special thank you to our Northwest Provincial Government for supporting this event, as well as one of our display partners, Buttercup. Massive thank you, welcome. And then, of course, thank you to our judges, our speakers, and of course, our finalists. You all really deserve to be here, and we can't wait to see what you present with us later. Good luck, have fun, and enjoy the day. We are here to assist with anything that you guys need, so come and chat to us. Have fun.
A huge thank you to Topco Media's Head of Conferencing, Claire Garrett, Head of Brand, Judy Twambo Chilese, and Marketing Executive, Alexandra Kuchube, for the organizers' welcome. We now move the needle swiftly to the Standard Bank keynote address to engage not only why Standard Bank banks on women, but for our speaker, why being here is the core of her purpose as she journeys us through her enterprising endeavors. And for this, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome onto the Empower Her stage, Nobile Zondi, the Provincial Manager of Enterprise Banking at Standard Bank.
Not sure whether I must use this one. just bend this because I'm a bit short, right? Okay, I think I'm sorted. Good morning. Dumelang bahulu. Ligai. Riteng. Yo, that light there is quite something. I'm Ngobile Zondi. I look after the enterprise banking for Western Cape. And the reason I'm here is because I recently moved to the Western Cape, but I have been part of this Northwest Enterprise team, which is a team of bankers that look after small businesses all around the province. It has been quite a journey. I've only recently moved on the 1st of August, so I see some of the people that didn't know. They're looking at me in some type of way, but I'm still with Standard Bank, so I'm still here. So just a bit about myself. I am a mother of 2 boys. The first one is now 24, so he's got his own adult needs. And one would think, when you've got older children, they can sort themselves out, but I can assure you, bigger kids, bigger problems. So there's more work to be done there. Not a lot, but there's deeper work, let me just say. And I've got a little one, 8 years old, very busy bee. So I think my point is, by the time I get here, my day started at 5 with a little bit of shouting and a bit of, music and, a bit of pep talk that you can do it today, So I think what's important as women leaders really is that our day start in a different time. Our whole lives basically start by leading ourselves, leading our homes, leading our communities, and leading our businesses. So I really want to applaud each and every woman that is here, that is either in their own business or leading or a part of a leader of teams in any corporate or any other businesses. I know that you guys, what you do every day is not just like any other leader. You do way more. And for that, I want to say Happy Women's Day, Women's Month to you. And I want to say that we see everything that you do every day. Please give yourself a round of applause. Secondly, I would like to really congratulate our peaches for today. In fact, firstly, I want to say congratulations to our panelists, our judges. I saw some of the women that we've journeyed with while I was still in the Northwest that are now judges, and I know that it's a journey, and you guys have earned it. So congratulations to you for being where you are today, and I want to say all the best to the ladies that are going to pitch today. I say because you come here and you are putting your business out there, you're already a winner, because there's a lot of people that are viewing this today. So you already have won. Congratulations. I think the reason I am a part of small business, and one would say you've been part of small business in Northwest, and now you've moved to the Western Cape with the same similar narrative. I'd say for me, banking is a business. For me, I do not just, offer our customers. We've decided as a bank not to offer our customers just financial services, but we're part of their business. We're part of their ecosystem. We make sure that they meet the right people that need to help them take their business to the next level. So for me, small business is I almost call it a calling. I have people that are asking me about businesses and about things at night. So for me, it's not just banking, it's actually business. I actually call myself an entrepreneur. I'm not a banker that will come and say, give me your financials, but I'll say, tell me about your supply chain. How do you do this? How could you do it better? So I think that's the narrative that we're pushing to say, it's not just financial services, it's actually part of your business. How do we take you to the next level? Having been a teenage mother, having gone through divorce at some point in my life, having gone through a couple of relocations with a little one, I know what a journey it is to try and put yourself out there as a woman. And hence I'm here today to encourage each and every one of you, whatever the goal that you have, Nobody is coming to do it for you. You've got yourself. You are the one that you've been waiting for. So please, go for it. The children that we've been trying to protect, I was telling my team here and saying, my son has adapted so well, and I've been thinking, I'm protecting him. The children are so resilient, and we are doing this for them. So let's continue, let's push, and let's rise above the noise. I think what I want to challenge the women that are here today is that let us take our place in the digital space as women, and let us use this platform for our own good. We have seen women leaders being ridiculed in the social media. We have seen them being put down, and some of them actually, I've seen one lady leaving a concert and saying, I can't do it, it's too much pressure, because the social media is saying a lot about them. And I'm challenging each and every one of you that you've got your WhatsApp, you've got your Twitter, your everything. Put your business, your sister's business out there. Let's use the digital space to market ourselves, to uplift one another, to tell the good stories. I'm the one person that doesn't even like, putting the negativity and, people that died on my social media. I like to bring someone up whenever you read something. So I'm saying, let us use this to do the reverse. Let us uplift one another through social media. We've got the power to send our businesses out there without literally having money for billboards. We have our WhatsApp. I think we spend a lot of our WhatsApp busy on, TikTok and all the things that are really not bringing us money. Whatever you do, every single day, think about how you're making money. If you're sitting here, the person that's sitting next to you, how can they help you make your business better? When you come out of here, you must have numbers as to how you're going to make yourself better. I also want to say we also have a very great challenge with the environment in our country. And I think women have the power to influence how our children and how the communities protect the environment. I think it's about time we have those businesses that are pushing the narrative of environmentally friendly, of protecting the resources that we have, of ensuring that our children understand how to protect their own environment. And it really takes each and every one of you to make a change. And then lastly, we've seen women. I was here last week, and I met some of the women in industries that predominantly used to be male-dominated. And I'm talking about engineering, I'm talking about mining, so I've had engagements with those women, and I'm like, how do you do it? And they actually said, you know what, we are actually working with men. And I want to challenge each and every one of us to say, let's push ourselves to go to those uncomfortable industries as women where we don't have power, physical power, or whatever power that we need, the digital space, IT women. Let us use our connections. Let us not be women that want to compete with men, but let's make sure that we use whatever they have that they can come and bring into our lives to make us better. Let us not compete against men, but let us rather compete about who we want to be. So I think my last note is I want you to think about who you are as you come out of here. Write it down. Who am I? I actually had a very long thought before I could write at some point who I am. It took me a while to be able to answer that question to myself. So I would really challenge every woman here to ask yourself, who am I? And you ask yourself again, what is the best version of myself? Who is the Nqobile that I would like to be, that I think I should be? And then lastly, ask yourself, what prevents you from being that person? And start working on those. Every day is work. One day we pass, one day we fail, and it's okay. We all learn and we grow and we go forward. So congratulations to all the women. I think word from Standard Bank, we're here to support small business. We believe that women are from statistics, they are half of the whole population of the world, and if we don't empower women, it's not just us women who suffer, it's the whole world, because half of the world is really not empowered. So that is why we are serious about empowerment. And I think I'm also an example of how Standard Bank, I've grown from, being a graduate until where I am. It's been a journey, it's been hard work, it's been being mentored, allowing myself to be led so that I can lead others. And I think for each and every one, whatever dreams you have, whether it's business, whether it's leadership, whatever it is, whether it's family goals, relationship, you want to be a better person in friendships, you can do it. You just need to work on it. Congratulations once again, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Nqobile. And I think, as you are taking what she has said to heart and to mind, remember that if you're writing and asking yourself who I am, remember that first you're a top woman, okay? So that is something that you can definitely keep in mind. That was, of course, Nqobile Zondi, the Provincial Manager of Enterprise Banking at Standard Bank. We now continue our program with the opening keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the department, or rather the Northwest Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism, the Director of Enterprise Development, Happy Mukone.
Good morning, top women and men. Thank you very much to our sponsors, to our partners, to every lady in this room. You are so awesome. And you also, gentlemen, you are handsome, not awesome, handsome. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Happy Mukone, as it already been said. I'm here to represent the Northwest Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism, for short we call it DEDECT. This is the department that is responsible for driving the economy of the Northwest Province. But what I want to say as well is that the department is very serious about the development of women in the economy, to play in the space of the mainstream economy of the Northwest. And there are some worrying factors, some of the sectors that our women are not really yet playing as they are supposed to be playing. So knowing Northwest is one of the provinces that are very endowed and rich with minerals. However, we have few women that are getting opportunities to play in the mining sector. And it's one of the challenges that we are saying to all partners, all the players in the ecosystem, to say it is our responsibilities, particularly mining houses, wherever you are listening from, to say open those doors for women. They are more than capable to play in that space. The department is also, or the province rather, is also rich on tourism. We are here at Sun City, as evident to that. This is one of the landmarks of the province, and it attracts more of the international communities whenever they come to the Northwest, whenever they come to South Africa, they just want to see Sun City. Another issue that I wanted the beautiful ladies to take note of is to say to you, really, we congratulate you as the province. We welcome all provinces that are represented in this room. Northwest is one of those peaceful and loving province, but Baba Buan Setswana are very loving, are very caring, like myself. And they are really, hospitality resonates with Northwest. So in terms of really seeing women playing in the economy and taking leadership, not only, leading from the back, not only being subsidiaries of a certain big company, but to be the big company yourself. And this is a narrative that I think the program director also alluded to, acknowledging that inborn spirit of entrepreneurship in every woman, rather. We are all entrepreneurs. We can do it. We are not competing. We may not have the physical power. We have the mental power. Let us use it optimally. And with those few words, we say, Northwest welcomes you. And thank you very much, Topco. We are here once again. The last time we were here, it was before COVID. And I would love to see the crown remaining in the province. Northwest ladies, thank you very much.
I think the Northwest has a beautiful ambassador in you, Happy. Very, very so. From, of course, the Northwest Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation, and Tourism, Happy Mokone, the Director of Enterprise Development, shedding light on the importance of entrepreneurship. And I do believe, and something that Ngobile also alluded to, intrapreneurship. If you are within an organization and you are enterprising and you are, this entrepreneur who is very much looking forward to innovating and creating the impact, then that is something that is certainly to be honored. At this moment, I would like to take the opportunity to prepare us for our keynote address from Lisa Illingworth, who is the founder of Future Proof SA. Lisa is an educator turned entrepreneur, having started 4 businesses. She successfully built and exited Future Proof SA as the CEO and is currently the commercial director at Raise. Lisa has hosted her own radio show on entrepreneurship and has pitched in the South African version of Shark Tank, being one of just 3 businesses that were able to receive investment. She has co-authored the book that every entrepreneur has to read, which will be released later this year, and has guest lectured at many business schools, both locally and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in very, very capable hands. Please welcome onto the Empower Her stage, Lisa Illingworth.
It's always treacherous walking up here in heels, right? For those ladies who have done it and have arrived on stage, we made it here safely. We're okay. Dignity intact. How many of you have put on your heels again this morning for the first time after lockdown? Right? And you, like, the first time you put them on, you go, firstly, why? Like, why do we do this? And second of all, like, how did I even walk in these things before? Like, what are we doing here? I nearly reached for my Converse. I nearly did. But Claire would have an issue if I did. So I was like, the heels. Okay? But I mean, guys, like, we spent 2 years walking around in our tracksuits. And as women entrepreneurs, I can tell you now, getting into, like, our gear, having that glow up again, it takes effort. Yeah, it was hard. And I think that's kind of like how life has been. It's like this roller coaster that we've had to go through and just adapt and be. And I love how the definitions of entrepreneur are being discovered this morning. Myself, and I call myself an entrepreneur, but I've also studied entrepreneurship, not in the form of, like, the nice MBA or things like that. I feel like I'm a scholar of what it means to be an entrepreneur. And I like to see that we're reshaping what this word actually means. There was a study that was done a couple of years ago on 229 entrepreneurs across the world, different contexts, different markets, different ideas, everything. And they tried to identify what made these people successful. And it wasn't timing, it wasn't luck, it wasn't any of those things. It was, in fact, 5 mindsets that those people demonstrated across the world that identified them as entrepreneurs. So it doesn't matter where you are It doesn't matter where you sit. It doesn't matter what you do or how you define yourself on a daily basis by the title that's on your business card. You can be an entrepreneur. Okay? If you want to know about those 5 mindsets, come and chat to me afterwards, and I'll chat to you about that. That's part of what Future Proof SA gives us. Today's chat with you is going to be a little bit more practical, okay? Because I come from education. Like many of us, we've reinvented ourselves. We've started somewhere and we decided, no, that really wasn't suited for us, and we've moved into different sectors, into different industries, into different roles and identities in our lives. And I started out as a teacher, right? In a classroom, okay, a primary school teacher. My majors were English and Zulu, so I was going to stand up here and rattle off in Zulu, but then I thought, oh, wrong audience, right? You've all just been greeted in Tswana, and I'm like, okay, can't do that. But like a lot of us, we weren't taught how to do life at school. And so we arrived as women into the world, trying to walk in heels again. Also one of those things they didn't teach you. But they didn't teach you how to life. So I'm going to give you 10, hopefully meme-worthy reasons and explanations on how to life as a female entrepreneur. So I've been doing this for over a decade. Left teaching, left education. I lived overseas for 3 years. I lived in South America, right? Okay, so my Zulu didn't help me there at all. Had to do some Spanish. But coming back from that experience, I found myself, like many of us do, in a space where we have to find our way, where necessity for getting an income becomes the top priority, because we are caretakers of children, we're custodians of families, and often we get put out into the cold and told, make it work. And that's where I found myself. So all those stories about, the grass to grace that we hear, Lisa started 4 businesses, she pitched on Shark Tank, it's messy, guys. It's never pretty, it's very messy. So I'm going to give you 10 things that I learned. You know why we give you 10 things when we do these keynotes? It's like so you can count down to when the torch is over. You know it's going to end after 10. Okay? So those 10 things start like this. The first thing that I learned was how to keep the main thing the main thing. Okay? Female entrepreneurs, any entrepreneurs, you're born with this thing called opportunity awareness. And it gets honed and it gets transformed in your life as an entrepreneur. And it's very irritating to everybody else, okay? Because you will sit there and everyone will be moaning about load shedding or about the potholes or about some kind of issue, and you'll be going, there's an opportunity here to make money out of this. It's very irritating to everybody else. But we have this thing called opportunity awareness. Now, as you grow as an entrepreneur, that opportunity awareness gets turned on. Now everything looks like an opportunity, and you actually struggle to know what to say yes to and what to say no to. How to keep the main thing the main thing. How to say yes to the right things and no to the things that don't serve what you're trying to do. So when we built Future Proof, Future Proof is dedicated to entrepreneurship education at school level. So we can fix the issue that we have when we left school with not knowing how to life, okay? So that's what Future Proof does. And we have what we call a purpose statement. Not a mission statement, not a vision statement. Because it's a purpose-driven business, we have a purpose statement. And it says, Future Proof exists to catalyze entrepreneurial thinking and action in kids. Okay? And that's it. Do you know how many times I've been approached to, do you think we could do adult education? No. Why? Keep the main thing the main thing. Have a statement that holds you accountable to ensuring the main thing stays the main thing. I'm really good at kids, okay? I'm really, really good with them. I know how to build curriculums. I have a master's in curriculum design. Do I know how to do adults? No, they sucked. It's why I left teaching. Because I had to deal with parents. Parents are horrible, all right? I'm a parent now too, and I really, really try not to be that parent. But I know what the main thing is, and I stick to it. So have something, a mechanism in your business that keeps the main thing the main thing. So you know what to say yes to, and you know what to say no to. Because I can guarantee you now, the things that will burn you the most are the things that look like great opportunities and turn out not to be. Right? I'm hearing, yeah, we've learned this, haven't we? Okay, so that's number one. Keep the main thing the main thing. Number two, passion is great. Habits are better. Okay? Passion is a feeling. When you feel passionate about something, you're highly motivated. You get into it. You wake up in the morning. You leap out of bed. Okay, I also do the 5 o'clock in the morning thing, and there's no leaping at 5. Okay, there's no leaping. It's sort of a roll and hope you don't, hurt something on the way down. Right. But passion will get you up only for so long. And I guarantee you, Future Proof is 8 years, nearly 9 years old now. I exited at the beginning of last year as operational manager, and I employed an operations manager. Guys, I let go of my third child. Right? I have 2 girls, and Future Proof was my third child. For those of you who've started businesses, you know what it's like. You spend more time and more money, and you lose more sleep over a business than sometimes you do over children. So it does feel like you're raising a child. So I let go of my third child at the beginning of last year, hired an operations manager. I still sit as a shareholder in the company, but I'm not operationally involved anymore. And I decided I wanted to go and solve new problems for Africa. So I work for Raise as their commercial director. It's an international SaaS business that helps entrepreneurs do equity management for those that are going to do VC funding raising. So I know I went and did employment. What? I'm a nightmare, okay? I report to a founder. This is a first-time founder as a CEO. I am a complete nightmare to manage, right? Imagine employing an entrepreneur in your business. What the hell, okay? And yes, we're all passionate about what our children are in our businesses when we start. And that passion will fade, guarantee you. It will be hard beyond what you ever expected it to be. So when that feeling goes, what's going to sustain you in the growth of your business are your habits. So whilst your passion is building, build habits to support them. I'll give you an example of one of mine. So to keep the main thing, which I've often struggled with, because we have this opportunity awareness, is I have on the inside of my coffee cupboard, I've painted with chalkboard paint. Do you know chalkboard paint? You sometimes get those stickers as well. Okay, so those go up. There's a little piece of chalk that's stuck in the middle there. And while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil in the morning, I write down what the main thing is going to be for the day. And then come hell or high water, I make sure that that thing gets done. And it's not an admin thing, it's a business building thing. What am I doing today that's going to build the business for tomorrow? Okay? There are going to be fires. There are always going to be fires in your business. Every single day, and you're going to have to put them out. But how do you get to the end of the day keeping the main thing the main thing? You make it explicit, and you hold yourself accountable. And in the morning when you get up, you stack one habit on top of the next, habit of making coffee in the morning. While I'm waiting for that, in that little unoptimized pocket of time, I write on the board what is the main thing for the day. And that little habit has kept me going when I guarantee you I didn't want to, when the passion had faded. Okay? So life hack number 2 as a female entrepreneur, wrap your passion in habits to sustain you when it gets hard and that feeling fades. Okay? Number 3, be interested, not interesting. Be interested, not interesting. When you have to, like I've had to on multiple occasions, stand up and present your business and talk about it and pitch, and you're in the spotlight all of the time, it's very easy to get wrapped up in all of that. It's very easy to get wrapped up on your name on social media banners and, standing in front of crowds and, bleating about all the good work that you do, hiding all of the messy stuff under the carpet. Okay, be interested, not interesting. Make sure that your focus is on those around you and the community around you. And don't get caught up in the bubble that is and that comes with a little bit of success. Okay? Number 4. Oh, I love this point. Make your value higher than your drama. You know where we got this from? There's a horrific video on YouTube of an engineer standing there, and he describes a thing called a hot crazy scale. And basically the premise is, and you can go and Google it, is as a woman gets hotter, she gets crazier. It's horrible. It's so sexist. Maybe slightly true. But it's this matrix that he uses. And we've reformed this matrix to be the value drama scale. All right? And for those of you who have employees or work in teams, you'll always know the one individual who always has drama. Okay? And I want you to, when your life starts to be drama-filled, just do a quick little self-check. Is my value being undermined by my drama? Okay? Make sure that your value is always higher than your drama. Tip number 4. Right. Tip number 5. Practice balance over performance at all costs. Practice balance over performance at all costs. Okay, so we're all driven individuals. I don't think you would be here if you didn't have a certain amount of ambition. But with ambition comes this self-sacrificing drive. And I have 2 girls, okay, so Megan and Victoria. And Victoria has, unfortunately or fortunately, the similar characteristic in her. I don't have to check homework. I don't have to ask her to study for tests. I don't have to do any of those things because she drives herself to the point of self-destruction. And so she came to me the one day and she said, "Mom, can I have a mood ring?" Do you remember mood rings? Okay, she's 14. It's still a thing. Yeah? Those things that change color when you're in a mood? Yeah? I know. It's not just the 80s, all right? It's still around. So she said, "Mom, can I have a mood ring if I do really well in my exams?" Now, she's an A student. She's going to do really well in her exams anyway. It's going to happen. And my response to her was, "Victoria, you can have a mood ring if you are able to study for your exams and do really well, but also find the time to play Monopoly with your sister, to still go and swim because she's a very good swimmer, to still go and bake in the kitchen. If you can find a balance of those things in your life during a time of extreme stress, then you can be rewarded." And we don't do this with ourselves. We don't practice balance over performance at all costs. And I don't believe in this work-life balance nonsense, these time blocks. You are all of yourself all of the time. There is no, I arrive home and I don't work. Whatever. Okay, no. It doesn't happen. Because often you are the kingpin in your business, and if you don't work, nothing else does. So this time-blocked work-life balance scenario is a complete fallacy. Just have all your balls moving in the generally forward direction together. That's what work-life balance looks like to me. But that's all the balls. That's the self-care ball. That's the interests. That's the hobbies. That's the rest. Did you know that there are 7 different forms of rest? Google it. 7 different forms of rest. Creative rest, physical rest, experience rest. 7 different forms of rest. Do you prioritize them? Practice balance over performance at all costs. That's number 6. Number 7, be thankful. Oh, goodness me. I'm so glad you're on the ball this morning. You're not letting me skimp on anything. No, that was the one that was to the that was the extra to the conference company who was on the side. Right, number 6. Good job. Own your stuff. Okay. This is a bit more formal. So if it wasn't as formal, I would have said something different. But own your stuff. Okay, and that means owning the good stuff and the bad stuff. The other mindset that we speak about is entrepreneurs have a very high internal locus of control. That's a very fancy term for being very highly self-motivated. You believe that you have the ability to affect your circumstances. Otherwise, you wouldn't do this ridiculous, crazy thing like start a business. It's a little bit of arrogance in there, let's be honest. Like you are arrogant enough to assume that you can solve a big problem for other people. Which is good. We need it. But it's easier then for us to own the failures. But own the good too. When you win, own the win. And then when you lose, own the loss. If you're struggling with accountability in your teams, it's because you're not publicly owning your stuff. You're not giving other people the safety to own their stuff too. So if you're struggling with a team that's not going, that was me, I messed that one up, I'll fix it. If you're struggling with that, you need to publicly own your stuff in front of them. People can't be what they can't see. Okay, so own your stuff. That was number 6. Number 7, be thankful. I'm thankful that you kept me honest to make sure I get through all my points and that you don't miss out. But being grateful and being thankful actually rewires your brain. Your brain is made up of be thankful. Number 8. Okay, how to life as a female entrepreneur. If you're struggling with finding that flow, you might have started 1 or 2 businesses like I did. They were epic fails. They always are when you start off with. Okay, don't think that your first idea is your best idea. It never is. But if you're struggling to find that flow, there's a term called ikigai, all right, which is that Venn diagram in Japanese where it says, okay, you need to find that little intersection. I've got my own little Venn diagram. And it's an interesting intersection. So if you're struggling to find that purpose, okay, that intersection, first of all, find what sets you alight. That's the first thing. Okay? We know passion is not good enough. We're going to wrap that in habits. But find that passion, that thing that you would do if you had all the money in the world and you didn't actually have to earn any more. What would you do? So find that. Then find that intersection of purpose. So passion is about you. Purpose is about others. Okay? So solve a problem for others. Passion, purpose, something that you care about. Those two need to intersect with your talents and your abilities. I did an amazing thing and started a business in solar energy 4 years ago. How dumb. What do I know about solar energy? Jack. What did I learn? A whole lot in a very short space of time with a learning curve that looked like this. But what do I know about that? Nothing. I stood up in front of national television, and told a panel full of sharks to invest in a business that I knew nothing about. They bit, right? I then promptly sold those shares of that business because I really had got to the end of my skill set there. But find that intersection where passion meets purpose, meets talents. Where is that? Where are your skills at? What are you really good at that can differentiate you from those trying to do similar things? Okay, so we've got 3 things there. Passion, purpose, talents. The next intersection that needs to work with all of these is the people. Who do you know? that can help you solve this problem? What networks are you invested in and are invested in your success that can help you solve this problem with the talents and passion that you've got? Are you starting to see how it's coming together? Okay? So we've got passion. We've got purpose, which is about others. We've got your talents. Now your network, the people that you need. And the last thing, and this is where I made the biggest mistake when I started some of these businesses, is money, is income. Okay? We don't earn in trade exchanges, guys. Yeah, we'll do it for the publicity. Okay? Pick and Pay and Checkers does not take payment for bread, for exposure. Okay? I'll talk about you on my blog if you give me bread. No. All right? And so many of us as women entrepreneurs, particularly for social entrepreneurs, and a lot of our businesses have social aspects to them, is we sacrifice our profit at the altar of our purpose. And that's always a struggle. You want to do good, I get it, but you need to make money. Don't offer up your profit at the altar of your purpose. There needs to be a good, delicate tension between those. And that's why everyone talks about the magic of entrepreneurship. Because when you're in flow, you're able to find that intersection between passion, purpose, talent, people, and income. Find that sweet spot, and you'll be in your flow. That's number 8. Number 9. And this came from a movie, goodness, in the early 2000s. Okay? It was a movie about boxing. And you're going to be like, what, Lisa? Honestly. It's called $1 Million Baby. Have you seen it? No? $1 Million Baby. It's about a female boxer, Hilary Swank. I think she actually won an Oscar for it. Or Clint Eastwood did. Did she? Nice. Good. Okay, so she won this Oscar for it. And there's a beautiful line in it where Clint Eastwood is her manager. And she is almost stupidly brave in the way she conducts herself, which often I think to myself, I identify with you. Okay? I identify with this very fine line between stupid and brave. And she goes into the first round of every match and just decimates the competition. And Clint Eastwood says to her, it's so difficult to book fights for you because you just take everyone out and no one gets to watch a good show. And she turns around to him, and it's such a good line. She turns around to him and she says, if it's not a good match, knock them out in the first round. And I was like, wow. How applicable is that for life? Instead of wasting everyone's time in business, this little dance that we do in trying to prove ourselves and our value and, negotiate price and if it's not a good match, knock them out in the first round. And that's business, that's friendships, that's personal romantic relationships. If not going to work, stop, take them out in the first round. And I'll tell you quite a personal story. Middle of COVID, okay, so future-proof in education business, middle of COVID, we went 10 months without a single cent of revenue. 0. And everyone goes, well, how did you survive? I was like, I stashed the cash, okay? I hoarded every cent the quarter before that, not knowing what was going to happen. It was the best quarter that Future-Proof had ever had, and we were cash liquid. So thank goodness. And we survived. But middle of COVID, I've cut salaries, I've dropped expenses, I've closed the offices, I've really gone very lean. Everyone talks about a lean business model. This was like Ethiopian lean, okay? It was hectic. And we got this interested buyer to come and he wanted to buy into the business. And he showed me his offices, and they were beautiful in the middle of Ilovo in Sandton. They were gorgeous, and there were people working there. It was very well done. It was kind of, the sort of shabby chic setup. There was a kitchen in the middle of the offices, and he said, come, we all eat together as a family. That's how I build these businesses. And I was very awed by all of this. Obviously, the business is under strain, and this looks like a knight in shining armor. Okay, they never are. No. And I enjoyed, the first couple of interactions until you start to see the cracks. And people will always tell you who they are. You just need to believe them. And this gentleman said to us, we eat together as a family every day. Join us for this meal. Except the people preparing the food would prepare something completely different for him, and he wouldn't eat with everybody. I was like, that's interesting. That's, okay. And there was some language that was being used that I was like, this is very different. And I started to watch that behavior. And someone in my network had taken investment from this human and actually given controlling shareholding over. And he still sits today with a massive legal battle on his hands. But if you haven't defined what your values are as an entrepreneur, and you haven't defined those values for your business, and I'm not talking about the lovely words on the wall as you walk in beautiful font, in cursive on the wall, integrity. And then everyone goes, accountability, yes. Yeah, we've done that. Transparency, amazing. Not that. I'm talking about values in behavior. What does it look like to be transparent? And in Future Proof, it's you do what you say, and you say what you do. And anyone in the business, as peer accountability, can hold up a yellow card and go, you're not doing what you said, and you're not saying what you're doing. That's what transparency looks like to us. So what does it look like in behavior in your businesses? And that's the way that you can know whether it's a good match or not. Base it on values, explicit values in behavior. And if it's not a good match, knock them out in the first round. Everyone thinks, it's so cruel. I know, it looks like that on the face of it. But how cruel is it to waste a resource that not R1 million will ever buy you another second of? So 9, if it's not a good match, knock them out in the first round. And 10, stop looking to the world for your place in it. Create one. So many female entrepreneurs look to the world for their reception to know whether it's okay or not to do this. Create your place in the world. Harness the resources, the talents, the passion, the people, the skills and the income around you, and create that place. Say yes to the things that are the main thing. Say no to the things that are not. Wrap your passion in habits and go and create that place in the world. And this was a hard-earned lesson for me. As I said, I was an educator. I left teaching. I then, and this will relate for some of you, I was then married to a mining engineer. I was, for my sins. And I must have been wicked. And we moved on an expat assignment to South America, to Peru. And I lived in Lima for 3 years as an expat housewife. I was completely understimulated. Yeah, okay. I had to raise 2 children in a house and in a country where I didn't speak the language. I had no support structure. Rosa, who was fortunately my domestic help at that stage, was my interpreter. She was my GPS. Okay, she was my best friend because I didn't have anybody else there. And Rosa and I are still in contact today. She's amazing. But lived in Peru for 3 years. And as any understimulated woman would do, I unpicked the marriage. Because you're bored. Yeah, so everything is wrong. He walks out the door, he's wrong. He walks back in the door, oh my God, he's wrong. Everything he does is wrong. And I unpicked that marriage. And I came back to South Africa with 2 children under the age of 3, with no job. We'd closed bank accounts. Yeah, because we thought we weren't coming back. And I had to rebuild everything. Everything. And there were moments, I can guarantee you now, where I wasn't sure that I had enough fuel in the car to fetch the girls from school. Yeah. And you all want to sit there and go, oh, that'll never happen to me. If you're an entrepreneur, you also have the same PTSD I do. Okay. If anything, you'll walk away from this going, she was real. She might not have been correct or politically correct, but she was real. Okay? So guys, 2 kids under the age of 3, on my own, having to start a business because I didn't have a choice. Necessity entrepreneurship is 80% of the entrepreneurial activity in South Africa. It's not opportunity entrepreneurship. It's necessity. And on top of that, I don't know about you, but I came from a household where like entrepreneur was equivalent to any of the other 4-letter words that you would use, especially around the dining room table. Like you're gonna start what? You're gonna start a business? What? No, come now. And my father was the golden watch track advocate, where you start, you work for 30 years and 50 years in the same business, and you get the golden watch and the retirement package, and you leave. And eventually, he actually stopped talking to me when I was running my own businesses and starting these. Do you know that it was only when I appeared on Shark Tank that I suddenly found some form of legitimacy with my father? By the way, that's the biggest bubble of all of these things. The false bubble is that for some reason you get legitimacy when you stand up on TV and you pitch a business. Like, what? Do you know that only one of those businesses still has those investors in them today? It's all for the production value. So I was looking to the world to say, can you just make space for me in you some way? Can you just part a little bit so that I can get comfortable and nestle in? And eventually I had to go, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to create this space. And Future Proof was that moment. Was that moment saying, education, you guys are not doing enough. I can stand around and I can moan about it with my friends around the braai on the weekends going, oh, have you seen what our kids get taught at school? Or I can go, screw you. I'm going to fix this problem. And Future Proof, in the 8 years, has educated 6,500 young entrepreneurs, 25 micro businesses. Yeah. I get a little bit choked up when I talk about these things, because it wasn't me. It was the fact that I have incredible people around me, incredible support from those around me, and people who said alongside me, screw it, let's go fix this. We have kids, and I want to tell you a little story about Okela, and I'm going to wrap it up on this. Okela came to one of our programs, and he was 10 years old. He goes to Spark Schools, and he arrived there, and his mom had sent him, and he really didn't want to be there in one of our programs. And we always start with, what problem do you want to solve? And Okela had said, listen, I've just arrived back from school. My bag is a mess because my mom sent me with sunscreen to school because I get burnt on the field at break when I'm playing soccer, and the sunscreen leaked in my bag, and my maths teacher made me rewrite the whole book. And he was cross. He's like, I'm going to solve that problem. And it seems so simple. And it seems so mundane. And entrepreneurs want to go and like build these massive things that are so disruptive and take over the world. And Okele just wanted to solve the fact that the sunscreen had messed in his bag and he was punished. And so Okele went home that day and he emptied out the shampoo bottle, you know, the one with the pump top. Okay, he didn't tell his mom, typical entrepreneur. Okay, forgiveness, not permission. Emptied out the shampoo bottle, he cleaned it out. He put the rest of the sunscreen in the pump bottle. He then went and he reappropriated without compensation the basket that holds the cutlery, the steel basket next to the sink. He got that. He got 2 nails and a hammer, and he went to his teacher the next day and he said, "Ma'am, it's $150. And the teacher said, "I don't even know what it is. First lesson in sales." Okay? "Oh, it's sunscreen." She paid the 150 rand, and he nailed the pump bottle to the wall next to the entrance to the classroom. And every day, when they got out to break, Okele and his friends could squirt the sunscreen onto their hands and not get burnt on the field at break, and he didn't get into trouble for the sunscreen leaking in his bag again. What problem do you want to solve? That's where it all starts. And then using all of these other tips to go and create your place in the world. You're not a conformist. Don't try and fit into those structures. Find the gaps and exploit them in an ethical manner, of course. And I'm going to leave you with the words that were written for Steve Jobs. He didn't write them. An ad agency wrote them for him. But I'm going to leave you with the words that were given to Steve Jobs when he launched Apple. And he said, "Only those who think that they are crazy enough to change the world are the ones that actually do." Enjoy the rest of your day.
My goodness, can we give her one more round? I think I'll just capture again those top 10. Did everyone get the 10? Is there anyone who didn't get the 10? We all got the 10? Brilliant. I'll still capture them. And the very first thing is that to keep the main thing the main thing. That passion is great, but to wrap it in habits, to wrap it in discipline, that is how you essentially get to B from A. Be interested, not interesting. Make your value higher than your drama. Hashtag rise above the noise. Because there's a lot going on, even on the social media, even offline. But to essentially ensure that your value is higher than your drama. Prioritizing balance over performance. Owning your truth, owning your stuff. Gratitude and embracing that. Embracing ikigai and centering what you love. And again, to Lisa's point, let's not forget about the money. We're going to have a money chat in just a few moments, but I think it's very important to recognize that. Is there anyone in this room who hates money? Is there anyone in this room who hates making money? Is there anyone who hates money leaving out of their bank accounts? All right. And of course, being quick with your no and providing a TKO should something not work out. And finally, to stop looking for affirmation in the world and instead create it where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Lisa Illingworth, the founder of Future Proof South Africa, for that rousing and truly impactful address. Thank you so much, Lisa. It is now time to usher into the next segment of the program where we hopefully will ignite your fires with this fireside chat. And of course, not just any fire, your financial fire, not only for your personal, but also for your business. Ladies and gentlemen, for this fireside chat, please help me welcome onto the Empower Her stage an internationally accredited money coach, as well as an award-winning best-selling author, Busi Silesho. Please continue to just give her a warm welcome as she comes onto the stage. Hello. And she came very ready. She came very ready. Busi, thank you so much for joining us onto the Empower Her stage, and a very warm welcome. I truly hope that we'll have a fire-filled and fueled conversation about money. But I think before we even get into the money conversation, I think just journey us into your entrepreneurship journey, because you are a serial entrepreneur. But for you, you started a business at 6 years old. So I want you to start there with me, and then, of course, to your journey to serial entrepreneurship right before the recession.
Wow, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for inviting me. This is amazing, of course. Always working with entrepreneurs is my first love, because I became one. I think, like Lisa was saying, almost because we did not have a choice.
Absolutely.
And luckily, and I do say luckily, it worked. Because most of the times, I mean, we see the stats says only 20% of people who start businesses take them to 5 years,
yes,
going forward. So it means the whole 80% has to go back and start again. So, I mean, when I was 6 years, I lost my parents. And, of course, that meant that there was no one to take care of me. So I, of course, did not think that I should walk barefoot to school. Yeah. That was an option. There were so many kids who didn't have that, had to just make sure they're at school. So I thought, no, I cannot walk barefoot. Yeah. So I thought, I'll make something out of this. So I went and got to find out that there was a wholesaler that had all these amazing things, sweets, peanuts, and all this. And I sort of was able to ask around, and I found my first capital.
So at 6 years old, instead of going to a spaza shop, you go to a wholesaler?
No, I went straight to the wholesaler, because I looked around the spaza shop, prices were not making profit. So I thought, no, I will go. And I mean, the distance to the wholesaler was like probably about 4 kilometers walking. Oh, wow. And I did not tell anyone. I just sort of slipped through, because they were never going to allow me, a girl walking all that way all by herself. Okay. But I went and I got to the wholesaler. It was outside of the village, and I got all my pack of sweets and this, and the wholesale price was good. Came back with them, and I went to school the next day. So I was a very gifted child, so I didn't have problems with catching up with schoolwork. So first period, second period, third period would be the short break. I would have sold everything in my stock.
Wow.
And I will be selling from grade 1, which I was at grade 1, to grade 5. So I don't know how I did it, but between these periods, I made sure my stock was done. And now, from short break, I will then go to the kids who are still having their stock, who haven't sold, and I'll say to them, let me sell your stuff, then we share your money at the end of the day. So then that's how I will buy myself shoes, I'll buy myself jerseys, I'll buy myself all sorts of things. So that is when it started, and I thought, business actually makes sense, as long as you go to the wholesaler.
As long as you, and then throughout your 20s even, you still continued to invest in other businesses.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
So of course, that was something that I was just doing to make ends meet.
Of course.
Then when I was in grade 12, I was told that IT is the one industry where there is money. So I thought, okay, this is it. I am going to study IT because I want to make money. And I mean, I didn't have parents. There was so much that was going on. And all I wanted was just to have money. All I wanted was just to be able to take care of myself. And I mean, at that time, most of the things that were said was that if you're a girl, you must just find a good husband, a rich husband. And I sort of, that was a good idea. I mean, I looked around and was like, okay, that can work. But then I also got exposed to how those families were functioning. And I saw the people with the rich husbands, they were not happy. Then I thought, maybe I don't want this.
You want to be happy.
So I thought, if I can make the money, I mean, literally the only thing that I knew about Joburg and the big city life was on TV. And I used to watch all these shows on how these women were doing it. And I thought, I can be that woman. Because all the women I was seeing in my village were just, they were not making sure. So I thought, I don't want to live my life like this. I wanted something better. And when that time came, I went, of course, and studied. I got, the government funding, and that went well. I got to study, finished my degree, got into a job. First job, I hated it. I was supposed to go into an internship and, earn a little bit. My first interview, they hired me. They were like, there's no way we're letting you go. I am good. You put me in front of anybody who I need to ask something from them, I'm coming out with it. I got this job. The money was amazing. But there were IT jobs at that time. They were in, the company will be so amazing and great, but the IT people will be in the basement. The job was there. You don't see anyone. You have to talk to computers the whole day. I am not that person. I got depressed. I hated my life. I hated everything. I had the money. But again, just like Lisa said, I then started to go and do all sorts of things with this money. I got so much in credit. I was having every credit you can think of. And I was earning a lot of good money. And soon I went into another job. I resigned from this. I thought it was the people or this and this. Went into another one, same thing. Third year, went into a new job, same thing. Then I sort of saw that it was not them, it was me.
I love that. And I think through this journey, then you began to find your ikigai, and you were able to then have more than like 6 businesses, right?
Then I go and do that after the third job. And that was how I learned about myself a little bit more, because that's when I got into 40 million rand debt.
Okay, we're going to get into that. But even prior to that, you did amass an incredible amount of wealth, an incredible amount of success as well. But then 2008 came, the markets crashed, and that is what then saw you getting into the 40 million rand debt. Before we even get to, and obviously I'll allow you to briefly touch on how you accumulated even that amount of 40 million rand and what enabled that, I also want you to just touch on the risk and the mitigation challenges that you learned from, because you were at risk and your business was at risk. And what lessons you really garnered from that?
The biggest lesson that I think all of us as entrepreneurs must always think of a lot, because it doesn't look like something you want, but it's insurance. I did not have insurance. For being, when you are an entrepreneur, you are everything. If you are sick, the business stops working. If you die, my goodness. So we have to have insurance in place. The car you're driving, sometimes when you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking, oh man, the worst cannot happen now. And then you lose that car, and that is actually the car that is making everything work. So insurance was number one that I did not look at. But also number two, I did not understand, when you do your SWOT analysis, I did not take my threats serious enough. I did not take the things that I needed to take care of, as in terms of preserving the wealth. I was just really, really all about the sales, which is very important. We have to go for the sales. But I was selling, and money was coming in, and I was just spending it. It was coming in, and I mean, that was also one thing that was an emotional limiting belief for myself that I found out later. But I knew that I know how to make money. But it happens that there is a time where you cannot make money, just like when COVID happens. No matter how good you are at making money, then you will not have the chance in that time. what do you do? I mean, during COVID, of course, I started businesses fresh from COVID because COVID came and I thought, what can we do? Of course. But you have to preserve what you've already worked hard for. So that was the most example of a
measure.
A measure.
Risk mitigation
It's
measure.
making sure that you preserve what you've worked hard already for.
Right. And I mean, you must have been dangerously good at acquiring capital. Because how do you even get to 40 million rand
Yeah.
of debt?
Yeah.
And also, because it's from multiple banks as well. It wasn't just a single
it
credit
wasn't,
source.
yeah. So the next thing is know your skills. I know I'm good at sales. What does a salesperson do? They make you understand what they are giving you. They say this is bottle of water. If you don't have it, you will die in 3 days. Maybe you won't.
But they're selling with such conviction.
Yes, but they know this water, you really need it. They will tell you what vein need in your body need this water. They will tell you what happens if the water. So, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to always be fully 100% convinced on what you're doing. Because then people see it in you. Then they don't doubt you. And every time I've ever done a business, it was not because I was just trying to make money. It was because I really believe this can work. And I don't sleep. And everyone then sees that energy in me, that I am serious about this. And they want now to make it work. I always say to women entrepreneurs, we hardly ever ask for money. You get into a room, they are here to listen to what you want. You start telling stories, too many stories. You're not asking for what you want.
Right.
If you could just get inside, you know what, people, I'm not going to talk too much. I need this much for this. You will have saved everybody the drama, and they will actually decide if they want to give you or not. Because also, if you are a salesperson, you must be willing to take rejection. So I found out that I was good at that skill of going and asking. So every time when I had a good idea, I went to the bank. I mean, of course, I got to learn a few things. Like, I mean, you go on a Thursday, you probably get more money than a Monday. There are sort of those things. But those you learn as you go along. But asking for capital is not just about you saying, I'm begging you to give me money. You are saying to the person that you're asking money from, give me your 2 rands. I will make it 4 rands. Do you believe me? And they're like, yeah, definitely, I want 4 rands.
I love
and then,
it.
you say, you know what, if you give me 2 rand, I'll make it 10 rand, I'll give you 4 rand. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think whenever we're talking about entrepreneurship, whether it's male or female, there's the F word that comes up, and that's funding. Can I have an indication of women who own businesses who are here today and perhaps are always engaging in these conferences or opportunities because you need funding? Just a raise of hands.
Yeah, definitely.
So everyone else doesn't need funding. All right, Standard Bank, you heard. but on the issue of funding, I love this quote because, again, this is a skill of yours if you were able to get millions, but not only that, and match it with the sales that you're having in your business. You say, always ask for more money than you think you need.
Yeah.
Getting funding is the easiest thing. I'm going to repeat that. Getting funding is the easiest thing. You just need to know your value. What is the science behind that, if you will? Because you also talk about the fact that of money being energy.
Yeah.
And I think that can be translated into not only your personal finances, but also your business finances.
Yeah, true. So, asking for money is the easiest thing. What you need to work on the most is your passion. Once your passion is you fully understand it, you don't doubt it, you believe in it, you believe in yourself, you believe in you doing this. Going out there and asking for money, it is easy because, okay, so the other thing is, why should you ask for more money than you think you need? Again, it's that insurance thing. Because what will happen is that the first day you start on implementing this idea with the money they've given you, you're going to find out that, oh my goodness, actually I did not count for the coffee that I'm going to need while I'm working there. And I do need the coffee because if I don't have the coffee, I cannot talk. Then it's a problem. So we always going to have those things. So you must ask for more money. Now, if you ask for more money, what you're doing is that you are guaranteeing yourself the win. Because if you have the resources, the win is so much easier because you can now focus. If you have less funds and things are going wrong that shouldn't be going wrong, you lose focus because that is what we talk about, money is an energy. If you are stressed, you're going to create more stress. If you are happy and you are excited, you're going to do more. So you want to ask for enough because the person who's giving you, they are not giving you because they care about you. No, they do not care about you. Unfortunately, they don't. They want their money back. So you want to guarantee that they get their money back. So if you think you are being conservative and you're asking little because you just hope they give you, then you're going to lose all the money. Then you're going to have real serious problems. So if you're asking for more, you are saying to them, and you tell them, I am really making sure that we get this done, so we will need a little bit more. And they wouldn't have a problem. That is why then you really believe in what you want to do. So you're not scared of asking a little bit more in terms of the funding. Now, in then asking for the money, that is where you need to understand what is it that makes this person who wants to give you the money happy.
Right.
A lot of entrepreneurs think about themselves. I want this business. If I've got this business, I'll be able to take care of my kids. I'll be able to send them to good schools. I'll be able to buy myself a house. I'll be able to step. You shouldn't be thinking about that. That will happen automatically. You need to be thinking about your fund. If it's the bank, what do the bank want from you? Can you give the bank what they want from you? Can you show up to the bank the way they want you to show up to them? If it's a tender, can you give them if it's compliance, if it's this, if it's that?
Right.
And also, we always think funding is going to happen in terms of a big lump sum coming from somewhere. But that is actually the least way you can raise your funds. Raising funds is about the 1 cent that keep on coming every day.
Right.
So if you want to start a catering company, do not start and say, I'm going to wait until I've got the stoves that are 50,000 and 100 million rent and this and this. Then I will start that day. No, start with the small stuff you have. I've got so many ladies that left their jobs. Some, they had to leave their jobs. They did not have jobs anymore.
Right.
And they started to just do sandwiches and take them to a workplace where maybe there's a complex. And a person like that makes more than 80,000 rand a month.
Amazing.
Making sandwiches from your own stove in your house and taking them to lunch for people that are working in a complex, they make more than 80,000. Any job that is giving you 80,000 rand a month is a very good job.
Especially in this economy.
Especially in this economy. So if you're an entrepreneur and you are making 80,000 rand a month, you can be able to save so much over 2 years, 3 years, and then you have now your garage set up. And from your garage, you're making 200,000 a month. And then 3 years later, then you can be able to find a proper warehouse that can give you more kitchen space. But you do not start because you're waiting for that big lump sum. Even if you have another skill that is not in what you want to do, also do that. You could be able to just go and do simple talks and make workshops and raise money and then go and put it in the business you want to do. So if nobody's willing to fund you, fund yourself.
Absolutely. And it's always noted that before we even go to banks or we even go to venture capitalists, the first round is always the family, friends, and fools. And that's those are the people who can give you 1,000 rand or we can give you 500 rand. But your second fund and your most important are your customers. Because they are the most important and will enable you to get from point A to B and validate before you go to the bigger funders. Because those big funders need to see that not only is there a gap in the market, but that
you can be able to serve it.
Precisely. There's the market in the gap, right?
Exactly.
Which is so, so important. So you wanted to complete your thoughts.
So I wanted to say, remember we have friends and family and these people that loves us the most. And they will buy all our stories. They will drink our poison. But we also can only go there once. You go there twice, you are now toxic.
Yes.
So we don't want to have a problem on Christmas Day. Now you're owing uncle who and auntie who.
Yes.
So most of the times, I normally say to entrepreneurs, if you know for sure that you'll be able to pay them back, then definitely do that. But other than that, you are good enough to fund yourself. Fund yourself to the point where then the bank thinks you are amazing. That's what I did. I funded myself, and the bank
And it
thought,
worked.
She's amazing. We can give her money.
And that, again, speaks to the value component of it. And one of the things that I also wanted to focus on is the tools that you engage in to enable organizations and small businesses to be able to engage their employees to recognize that their people are important and taking care of their people, not only compensating them financially, but their entire well-being. And before we even move to that, you talked to a book that you authored. Can you show
absolutely
the book?
There it is. Yeah.
Now, in this book, you talk about a tool, which is a 30-day program, particularly for personal finances. If someone is purchasing the book and they get to the 30-day program, it takes a minute. It takes a couple of months, maybe even a few years to completely change your mindset, as well as it takes a lot of time to be able to turn around your thoughts and your mindset around money. What can be done in 30 days with this tool, and what would you hope would be the desire for effectiveness if someone would pick this up?
So, when I thought of writing this book, I did not want to write the book, by the way. I was, no, not me. I mean, one of the things that I studied Bantu education, so my English is very, very limited.
Well, it was good enough to get into this book.
So, the first lady that is an editor that I gave her the book, she said, Pusu, what have you done? Oh my goodness. She was like, oh my God. And now this book has sold internationally. I said to her, you know what, the book is selling in England and no one is complaining.
There you go, the home of this English.
So I wrote it because when I got to my 40 million rand, and the bank said, no, it can't happen anymore. You are getting sequestrated now. We have had enough of you. And I was like, oh yeah, it's bad. It is bad. That was 7 businesses later. Every time one business died, I went back to the bank and I explained to them why this one died, why this one didn't work.
Dangerously good. Dangerously good at getting capital.
And they were like, oh yeah, we get this. We see why. And of course, we'll go on like that. When it was 40 million rand, I got sequestrated. So sequestration, most of you ladies probably have heard of it. You lose everything. So 40 million rand of assets, and the bank then takes everything you've got, like your spoon, your teaspoon. If you've ever gone to an auction house and you see teaspoons that don't match, they come from those places. So you are left literally with the clothes you are wearing, and then you are supposed to go into a 16 years period of rehabilitation. So literally you go to jail for 16 years, but you do it in your house. But if you still have one, with whoever's house you're going to go to.
Well, if they're selling your teaspoon, I don't think they'll leave the house.
You don't have a house. You don't have one, wherever you are. So, for this 16 years, you cannot have a job because you are blacklisted. You cannot have even a phone account. You can't have nothing. I remember the first time when I went and said I wanted to open a business account, I was told I can't. I'm blacklisted. I can only have a personal account. And I was thinking, what? So the system kicks you off, and then you start your rehabilitation. So it takes the maximum. The High Court, literally, your ID number is like, this one we put on hold.
Wow. For almost 20 years.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So during the 16 years, then you're supposed to prove to everybody that you can do life better now. Okay, so then sometimes they give you like parole type thing. It gets cut off before. Mine finished around 10 years. So, but in the 16 years, I learned how to buy a car cash, but all these things that I never thought you could buy a house cash. I learned during that time because at that time all I had was myself. But then what got me to wake up from that shock oh my goodness, I just lost everything. And now I was married. The person I was married to lost everything. Be very careful who you marry. Hey.
Marriage is quite a theme today, isn't it?
So
choose well.
And if you do, don't marry in community of property. Definitely do not do that. So, I mean, I had messed up nicely, right? And so one of the things that took me out of that dark hole, because it was a dark hole. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you finally found out that you've messed up so many people's lives.
Oh, wow.
Your kids, your spouse, everybody's life, and you were just trying to be amazing and do big things. And I mean, I left a job, right? And I said I was going to go into business. Now look. So, coaching. For some reason, when the sequestration was happening, there used to be people who come today, they're coming to fetch this, today they're coming to repossess this. So one time there's a guy that was coming to repossess one of the cars, and he came with this lady. Then this lady said, oh my goodness, I feel sorry for you, you should get coaching. I'm a coach. Here's my card, call me, I'll give you a free session, the first session for free. And I thought, well, mommy, you definitely, I'll take anything free today.
You've got nothing to lose.
I mean, so I've never heard of coaching back then, like way back. And I went to her, I sat in front of her and I told her this and this and this and this. When I was done, she said to me, you know, you don't have a problem with money. You have a problem with the relationship you have with money. And I thought, damn, I now need to have a relationship with money.
I can't just use it?
Like, you're not going to tell me like how to fix my income statement, because wow. And she said, no, I promise you in 3 months you'll be back in business. And I thought, wow, you really must have, you are such a positive person. Because it didn't look like that.
Yeah.
So she then started to give me coaching. And we found out that most of my problems were emotional problems I had with money. So one of them was the fear of losing it all. And guess what? Finally, losing it all had happened.
Right.
So she was like, now you're good. Now you exactly,
Yes.
you created it. Now you are here. I was
You've
like,
got a
I
clean
created this.
foundation.
She's like, yes, this is what you created. Because this is the thought and the belief you had. And another one is that I can make money, but I don't know how to keep it. And that I learned from my mom, because she was also an entrepreneur, but she will make the money and then she will say to me, let's go out and have fun. And then I thought, we're showing all of it. While, she did not say to me, oh, this is what we do. We eat some. But these are the things that I was introduced. I mean, my father told me to shut up and never use my voice. So today, my voice is the thing that pays me the most. So there were so many of these limiting beliefs. Then she started with me. She pulled them apart. And I was thinking, damn, why didn't I know of this before? So she took me through that coaching program. So then when I wrote the book, I was writing it only for that. Because that is what took me out of, because I could have gone and make another 100 million. I was going to lose it. If I had not fixed those limiting beliefs.
Right.
And how many entrepreneurs do that? You make the money and then you lose it and you start afresh, and you make it and you lose it, and you don't understand that there is just an emotional problem, an emotional thought that keeps triggering, and every time it triggers, you go back to the same, to square one. It doesn't matter where you are, you go back to square one.
Right.
So this is why I wrote the book. And that 30 days money mindset program, that is the most important thing. The rest of the stuff is English. You shouldn't be even reading. The only important part, the only important part is that 30 days. And I know a lot of people have said it's the most emotional thing they've ever seen. It is so hard. And I say to them, take it to the bathroom. You know, at bathroom, a lot of things go right. Sit there and just be like, I'm going to do day one today. And I will finish it before I leave the bathroom. Don't leave the bathroom before you finish it. Because it's going to ask you, it's a self-coaching program that's going to ask you all the important questions that you should be looking at in your emotional space. That will fix a lot of things. We are a spiritual being, we have emotions, and we do all the physical things. But if your emotions are in a wrong place, you are going to find yourself doing all the wrong things. It could be you have emotional problems that are about relationships. You're going to go and find all the crappy people. And people will ask you, where do you find crappy people? I don't know. I just find them. But no, it's because your emotions are always going to lead you in behaving a certain way. And finding the right opportunities is going to come with the right setup of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the mind that does not need you to tell it what to do. It does what it wants. You can only program it. So that is the most important thing about this book, is that 30 days mindset. So if you're doing it religiously, you can definitely do it in 30 days. But sometimes it's so hard that you probably will do it in 60 days. But I tell you, a lot of people that have done this, they come back to me and they say, finally now I know what I want to do. I've found my purpose. I'm really doing the business that I should be doing. And the business that I am doing, everybody is buying into it. The clients are coming, because now you love it. Of course, everybody must love it.
And speaking of reprogramming your mind, what are perhaps 2 or 3 questions that if these books are sold out now, and they want to be able to say and engage with the material, but also the tools and the tricks of the trade, and without giving too much away, what are perhaps like 2 to 3 questions, let's say, that they can start to ask and investigate, and to your point, self-coach their way out of it?
A lot of us, we find it so hard to have good feelings around money. So first of all, when you hear the word money, you're thinking, "Ooh, I don't have it."
Ooh, stress.
Yeah.
Ooh, my kyala.
It's coming next week. They're going to pay that invoice, but I'm going to have to pay all of this day. So literally, all of the thoughts that are coming around that invoice are about, it's going. So if money was a human being, and it knows that when it gets to your house, it won't even get into the gate, you will tell it, sorry, I'm so sorry. It will not get into the sitting room. It won't sit down. You won't pour it cold drink. You will just tell it, please go. So I normally say to my clients that have jobs, and I say to them, if you get paid on the 15th, put all your debit orders for the 25, for the 30th, and you keep your money for 15 days. They want to kill me. No, you want me to sit with this money for that 15 days? What will I do to this money? I'm like, but money, then you should just wake up and find money in your bank account, because then your subconscious mind registers you have money. Well, no. They will be like, can I pay the rent in 6 months? Because I have money. Aibo, keep the money. Everybody in business, we know we don't pay people when they want us to pay them.
That's true.
We know that, ladies, right? We wait, we keep the money with us. We pay them when they are screaming. Only. Isn't that a business? Like every business person who's successful will tell you that you never pay people when they want it. But that is the thing. Specifically women, do not want money to come inside their house. They return it from the gate. So there is an emotion you were taught to do that. It's called people pleasing, and it's got all sorts of things. You think people like you for giving them money. They don't. They just think you are the easy one.
And we certainly don't want to be easy.
No, you don't want to be the
especially
easy one.
around money.
No.
Now, you do run a coaching business that, again, is engaging organizations and big businesses to tap into the well-being and the holistic well-being, if you will, of their employees. To businesses and owners who are here and streaming, who perhaps only have 1 or 2 or under 10 employees, and they perhaps don't have the bigger budget to be trying to look at other things except to financially incentivize their employees. What would you say they can start to think about when they want to retain their employees? Because at the end of the day, it is an investment into the business.
Yeah. You know, most of the businesses that I've ever done was when I've got somebody who believed in my idea, and I said to them, this month I can't pay you. I'll be able to pay you next month. And I will incentivize you further this way. And at all times, you want people who can believe in your dreams and even take you, if you're giving them the small salary and saying, this business is still growing, stay with me with the small salary. I'm going to get somewhere. So when you do have something that you can give them that is truly from your heart, it really makes a big difference in them. Big corporates will always tell you people want to be noticed, people want to be shown that they matter. So they will take them into courses and this and this. But as a small business, maybe you don't have money to take your admin to an admin course. You just hope they can do the admin. We all have been there, right, ladies?
Absolutely.
You cannot. So, I mean, I have got so many programs that I have created for employees of small businesses. Simple things like getting that person to be motivated. The only thing that is probably mostly important in a small business is for everybody to be motivated, because every day counts.
Yes.
Every 8 hours in a small business counts like 5 days. And in a big corporation, we can get away with a lot, but in a small business, you need people who are going to get there and they're going to run with the business. So if you are able to motivate them to say, go again today, go again today, and they see what it benefits them. So I've got programs like that you can take for your employees. But then now it takes away from you having to motivate them. But then now they see why this is where the universe wants them to be at, and why they chose you, and why they chose this opportunity, and why this opportunity is important. Because if those people do well, then everybody does well. In a small business, it's all about everybody. In a small business, you don't have a person who just shows up and sits there for 8 hours and hope they get paid. It doesn't work like that in a small business.
Absolutely. Well, see, as I invite your closing remarks, you are a judge for the pitching den that will be taking place in the next few hours. What would be your words of empowerment, if you will, to not only the finalists who will be pitching, but also to each and every woman and men who is here today and saying, I have my business, I want to scale, I want to do all of these things, but I'm not so intimate with my finances, because that's also something entrepreneurs tend to run away from and be like, I'll deal with it when it's tax season, or I'll get, an accountant or a bookkeeper to be able to do that. But when it comes to the energy of money in the business, what words of empowerment, if you will, would you like to pass along?
I have seen this over the years that I've been working with entrepreneurs, and of course in my own life, is that nobody invests in the business. They always invest in the
individual.
jockey. Yes, you want the jockey to know what to do. The horse is fine, you can fix that. But if I don't think that you have the strength, if I don't think that you can be able to pull it off, if I give you this money, can you be able to pull it off? Then I want to give it to the person who I see they know what they are doing. They want to do this. They are not just doing this because they have to. So if you show anybody who wants to give you help that you are willing to take the help, you are willing to make it work, that is the best thing, that anybody will not even look at what you haven't done. Do you have the accountant or not? I mean, you have issues. Yeah, I know I have issues. I'll solve them whenever. But I'm willing to do whatever to make this work. So if you can show that is so important, because then we can trust that we are not putting the money in a dustbin.
Absolutely. And where can they get a hold of the book?
Yeah, the book is on Instagram, on my website also, busiselesho.com, but my Instagram account is probably the easiest. Just DM on Instagram and my PA will just send you quickly the form
details.
to get it. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Busi Selesho. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to break away for 30 minutes and indulge in some light refreshments and begin to press play on the networking, begin to press play on creating those deep, meaningful connections. And once those 30 minutes are over, I ask that you please pay attention to the Topco Media team, because they will be signaling you when it is time to come back into the auditorium. And then we will resume with the 1 hour fast track networking session. Enjoy the refreshments and see you soon.
There's no money in it. You'll never make anything of yourself.
Get a real
Sold for
job.
300,000, you guys.
Architecture. It's a man's job.
It will fail.
Too emotional. Listen.
Female architects transform the urban landscape.
You're not talented enough, Mama.
Alas.
Who do you think you are? You're not as good as them.
Small town boy on the big stage. Lukanyan Dingy opens for Paris Fashion Week.
Standard Bank, it can be.
It's the weekend lockdown with DJ Renee and Chili Funk.
I'm doing time. Put my heart on the line. Falling in love with you. It was my only crime. No rocks to break. Here's my heart at stake. I don't know what I'm letting myself in for. I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. I'm still in shock, in disbelief that of all of the people that you could have had, you're here with me. I can't escape. Don't know where to turn. Don't you know my heart beats to the sound of the man who's working on the chain gang? I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. Since I fell in love, I'm a prisoner. I'm a prisoner. I was broken. I was guilty standing trial. As she was soft spoken, presented by her smile, she knew just what she had.